You can use the terminal to create, read, update, or delete files. And as I demonstrate this, I'm going to show you the terminal and the graphical file explorer side by side so you can see what's happening really easily. So you can create directories using the mkdir command, which is short for make directory. And you see that creates a folder here. It takes the name of the directory to create as an argument, and that's the name it gives to the folder. So it's created an empty folder, which we can obviously move inside in the graphical explorer, and we can also move inside from the terminal by changing directory into my folder. Then if we ls in there, you'll see that there's nothing in that folder yet. To create an empty file, you can use the touch command, followed by the name of the file that you want to create. The command isn't designed for creating files. It's called touch because it updates the last edited time of a file, as if you touched it to brush the dust off. But it does create the file if it doesn't exist, so it's used for that too. And you can see that a text file has been created in this directory. To edit a file, you can use what's called a text editor, such as Nano or Vim. And I'll give you extra points if you use Vim, but it's more complicated to use. So for this example, we're just going to use Nano. So let's run nano myfile.txt, and that opens up this text editor. Here I can type things, and then I can exit by doing Command X and saying yes, I want to save the changes, pressing enter when it shows me the name I want to save as. Now I'm back in the terminal. And if I open up that file here, you'll see that it contains the text which I just edited from the terminal using Nano as a text editor. If you do want those extra points and you want to use Vim and you want to edit it as such, then to start off with, you should use Vim Tutor. Run that and it will give you a guide of how to get started with it, but I'm not going to go into that now. To read the content of a file, you can use the cat command followed by the file that you want to look at. So let's take a look at what's in that file. And now we'll just look at it from the terminal instead of by clicking it in the graphical explorer. You see the output of that command is what's inside the file. A cat is another one of those files that's not designed for the purpose I'm showing there, which is showing the contents of the file. It's designed to concatenate two files, their contents, stack them together, and produce that as an output, which is why it's called cat, concatenate. And if you only give it one file, it happens to just print the contents of a file. So that's what it's really used for in practice a lot of the time. So let's create another directory inside this one, and we'll call it child folder. And now let's say I wanted to move that file into that folder. But imagine I didn't know how to do that. I don't expect you to yet, and I don't expect you to remember everything. So let's look it up. So I'm going to click on this first link. It says how to move files and directories. Then it says the move command. So is there an example of how to use that? Okay, that looks like the usage is there. Okay, cool. So here it is. So move the name of the file into the location you want to move it into. And it looks like you can also use this to rename files by just moving file 1 to a name file 2. So I'm going to go back to my terminal and I'm going to move myfile.txt into child folder. And I can tab complete there. Now it's gone. If I double click in here, you'll see that it's been moved inside there. So there's another command we've learned, move. And we can see the results in both the graphical explorer and in the command line. So I'm in the child folder, and in addition to moving a file, you can also copy a file using the cp command. So let's copy that file into the parent directory by doing cp myfile.txt ... That's going to copy the file from here into the parent directory. And you see it's still here in the child folder. But if I go up a level, you can see there's another file called myfile.txt as well. I could also do the same thing, but I could give it another name. And now it's copied it with another name as well. So if I don't specify the file name, it will just copy it with the same file name into that directory. And if I specify the file name, it will make the copy with that new name. But notice that the original file is still in the child folder there. So let's move into the parent directory and see how to delete files. If I cd up a level into the parent directory, I can delete a file by using the rm command. So to delete the file, you can run rm myfile.txt and you'll see now that it's been deleted. You can also remove directories with the same command. So let's try that out here. And it gives an issue here. It says this folder is a directory. Apparently, child folder can't be removed that easily because it's a directory. We can add the flag -r to rm to recursively remove elements. So let's run rm-r child folder. And now it's removed that folder and everything inside it. Be super careful with these terminal commands. You don't want to do that in the wrong directory and recursively remove everything on your machine. One basic thing that I haven't mentioned about yet is that you can run commands that will print something to the output. To do this, the command is echo followed by whatever you want to print out. So if I echo hello, it's just going to say hello back to me in the output of the terminal there. So to understand how this works, you ought to know that there are three main channels of information between the terminal and the process which is running on the processor. The standard input channel takes in the input from us, for example, through the terminal prompt. The standard output channel exposes messages from the process, by default printing them to the terminal, and the standard error channel exposes error messages from the process in case something goes wrong. So if everything works fine, the echo command will expose the message through the standard output channel. And in that case, by default, it's just the terminal that we're typing in. But we can also redirect messages from the standard output to a file, for example, instead. And to do that, we can use right-angled bracket between the expected output and a file name. So if I do echo hello, right-angled bracket into a file, then you'll see we've created a new file here. And in it is the output of the file which we just ran. Now let's run another echo command with a redirection and a different sentence. So redirecting to the same file with a different word. If I look at what's in that output file now, you'll see it's lost the hello. There's only world in there. So the previous content's been overwritten, and that's what the single angle bracket does. It overwrites whatever in that file. If you want to append to, rather than overwrite an existing file, you can use the two right-angled brackets as such. And that's a little bit about file manipulation in the terminal. And to tidy things up, I can use clear.